Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and welcome back to Subnautica. It's only been about a week since we last took a look at this, but in that time a major content patch has come out, so I've started a new game and got myself set up again so that we can check out some of the new stuff. This is the farming update, which may not sound too exciting, but it does mean that we can now play in survival mode. You can see I've got my food and water meters at the bottom there, since there is now ways to renew those instead of eventually running out of fish. You can see here I've set up a bunch of these new plant potters. Planters? Anyhow, so we can plant stuff in these. These require land-based plants, since we're inside. You can tell from the green background there. Which I don't have any of because we'd have to go to the island, so we'll be doing that today. Which is actually a place I've never been. You can see here I've got the exterior grow beds. I built quite a few of them. I didn't actually realize when I built this base how big these things were. So I may have built a little too big. And then, the other major part of the farming, aside from the plant parts. Filtration machine doesn't have any water for me. Nope. You gotta watch out for that spot in the floor, you just fall through. It's a bug, but not too hard to deal with. The other major part of the farming update is the Large Aquarium, which, as you can see here, we can actually extend up multiple floors. Now with this, we can not only put fish in it, we can actually breed fish, which means, you know, an infinite food supply. We can also put some of the other species in here, and little mini versions, by finding eggs lying around the different biomes. And obviously different biomes will have different creatures' eggs in them. So I've built 3 of these, and we're gonna pop some stuff in there and see how it looks. To get in, you actually have to use this hatch you build on the side, and you can use a planter to plant different kinds of, you know, biome-relevant plants in here, though it's mostly just for display. So I've got my storage room over here for seeds and plants and whatnot. You can see I've collected a few eggs just from kind of traveling around, so we're gonna drop, I was going to say one of each, but we have a couple extra. So let's take one of these, and one of these, and one of these little ones. And we're going to drop those in there while we're out exploring, and hopefully they'll hatch by the time we get back. And we're also going to breed some fish. And sure, let's plant one of these too. Right. I was trying to put the egg in the planter, but no, you just drop it in here, and it should hatch. Also put some fish in here. Nope, not a peeper. You don't belong here. Get out of here. Now, there is a limit to the number of fish in a tank, so what I'm hoping to do is when this fills up, I'm going to grab a bunch of them and dump them outside my base, because the area around my base has kind of been completely picked clean of fish. So I'm hoping that they'll kind of hang out around there since they don't travel too far. I just want to breed these spinefish because they're cool looking. You can see here I've already planted a membrane tree. Last one there. And we'll drop the little one in here too. And let's go out and explore. Grab some plants, maybe find some eggs, and go check out the island. And maybe go get some magnetite too. Since there is somebody who wanted to see a reaper, and that requires going into a reaper zone. I don't have much in the way of food. I have to grab some of that before we head out. So yeah, a lot of these plants that didn't really do anything before are now usable as, you know, things you can grow. Stuff like this red bush. Just go up and hit it with your knife, and you'll get a seed. All of the seeds take up 4 slots for some reason. I don't know, it seems kind of annoying. Especially when the plants are really small. But, so we could just plant that red bush in one of those planters. They don't do anything, though. Right now they're pretty much just decorative. The red bush, not the planters. You could grow useful stuff. It's a dead fish. Something I've run over with my submarine. Nah, it's decomposing though, I can't eat it. There's a spadefish. Grab 2 of these. Come here, you little bastard. Oh, world loading in.
Blood nutrient levels decreasing.
I know I'm working on it.
Calorie
There we go.
intake recommended.
Yeah, you can see there's really not a lot of life around here. I'm actually in one of the kind of more barren areas of the map. You can see there isn't really much growing here. I think this is probably going to be another biome eventually. But I picked it just because I could build this big-ass base. You know, have room to actually farm stuff. So it is good for that.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Usually I prefer a more scenic area, but I can always build another base.
New creature discovered.
And I should have some water in here.
Vital signs stabilizing.
That's probably good enough for now. Let's take a first aid kit and get rid of this titanium. And head out into the world.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I'll try to point out stuff that I forgot to point out in the first impressions, so not everything here will be new. Alright, first things first, let's go check out the island, which should be very nearby, actually, if I remember correctly. Yep, you can see those black spots are the tips of the mountains, I believe. So I haven't actually seen this island yet. It's been in the game for quite a while, and it is pretty neat sounding, but they've added some stuff in the recent update, some wrecked sea bases. Just want to check those out. Since I haven't actually obtained all of the blueprints from the update yet, you do have to find stuff like the grow beds. Like, this is the scary kind of ocean where you can't see anything below you. But this is actually a fairly friendly biome. So this is the floater island, and as you can see, the reason it's called that is because it's floating. Specifically because there are giant versions of the creatures called floaters attached to the bottom, which is holding it up. There is actually a second island now that isn't floating, but it's a lot less friendly. Can we grab one of these? No? But this is kind of the main source of most of the non-aquatic plant life. See all sorts of trees and stuff up there. Just gotta find ourselves somewhere to dock. Wonder if we can get up from here. I was hoping I could stand on my seamoth. It's a little too sloped. Looks like a good place to dock your Cyclops, though. But I still haven't built one of those. And the recent update has actually made it harder, as they've changed a bunch of things to need blueprints that didn't before. Things you used to start with are now things you need to find around the map. The Cyclops specifically requires you to find 3 different parts of it that are 3 pieces each, so you need to find 3 engine fragments, 3 hull fragments, and 3 command deck fragments. Is there actually a way onto this thing? Oh, there we go. Here's some sand. Thankfully, the seamoth is not affected by waves, so we don't have to worry about it washing away. Unlike our escape pod, which, as you can see, that little dot off in the distance has actually drifted really far from its starting point. Alright, so here we are. You can see there are birds of a sort. They're kind of one of the only above-water life forms, aside from the cave crawlers. I bet I can grow these glowing things. Or not. I don't think I can grow tree samples, can I? I'm asking you like you can answer here, but I honestly don't know. Okay, good. I was like, don't give me 4 of those, they'll take up too much space. It's kind of weird that there are all sorts of like bird sounds and everything, but there isn't actually any real life on this island yet. Is that a blueprint? Or a fragment, rather? How did that get up here? You could build a sea base up here, too. If you wanted an above water base. You could even build one so that you have like a moon pool hanging off the cliff. This game is certainly not meant for land navigation, though. Alright, so you can see the sea bases are up there on the cliff. So that's where we want to go. Ooh, what are these things? Some mushrooms. I just want a bit of everything. Can I eat any of these things? There's a cave down here. I don't know why this thing has red tips. Can I even get up there? It looks like quite a steep cliff. Ooh. Nice like rainbow pattern in the water here. You can scan a lot of these plants. I think you can pretty much scan anything that you can plant, but there's no actual entries in the databank for them yet. It'll just be like the name and then nothing else. Yeah, maybe we have to take these caves to get up there. I'm just trying not to fall into the ocean because it'll be a pain in the ass to swim back over. The tree looks different. Oh. Are these not the same thing? No, they're not. Okay, it looks like I can maybe get up from this side. Those are different. Kind of look like great old ones. Or the elder race, I think they're called. Some vase plants. In terms of resources, however, there isn't really much here except you can see little lithium crystals here and there. Okay, this looks like a way up. If I use some carefully applied jumping. Why would whoever built this sea base build it so high up? Oh, I just ejected myself. Gotta skyrim my way up here. Nice scenic view, though. Oh yeah, that thing looks like it's full of flora. Nothing but sea as far as the eye can see. So yeah, these sea bases were here before. I don't know if they were up on the cliff, but they were on the island. But they weren't all like ruined like this. So I can probably grow one of these trees if I pick one of these fruits. Also, observatory. This is another fragment you don't start with anymore.
New blueprint acquired.
Alright, I gotta clear some space here. 4 slots should be enough. Grab one of these. Which I'm hoping I can then plant and grow another one of these. I think this might actually be the only hanging fruit tree in the game. But yeah, there's not really much explanation yet for why these abandoned sea bases are here. I mean, some people have said, oh, you know, it's other survivors from the Aurora who haven't done as well as you, but that wouldn't explain why they're all old and rusted. You'd think that would be from someone who was here before you. I can hear some cave crawlers, but I don't see any. Those are those little guys we saw all over the Aurora. I can't even see this base from here now. Should be right above us. Is there anything here I can get rid of? I don't need the mushroom since I have the seeds. I guess I can't eat it. The mushroom is shoving me out of the base. So this is all stuff I can come back for. I'm not too worried about not having any of it. I think the spotlight is actually above us, but that is definitely a blueprint I want.
New blueprint acquired.
Because yes, chairs and desks are things that we don't inherently have any idea how to make. I think those are mostly decorative. I don't think we can sit in the chair.
Acquired.
But anything to make the sea base look different. Alright, now let's try to get down without dying. Actually, let's head back to the base and see how the aquariums are doing and plant some of these crops. Alright, so we're back. Let's drop some of these seeds and get them growing. Sure, let's stick those in there. And I don't see how 4 things are going to fit in this tiny planter, but we'll see. No. I think my bone shark egg is hatched. Look at the little guys growing. Don't even have to put any effort in, they just take care of themselves. Let's see how our aquariums are doing. Hopefully well, because I'm going to need to eat something. This one hasn't made any progress. Oh. Well, there's the rabbit ray. That was the little tiny egg. Oh, I guess it is making progress. Now there's 3 peepers. This one still isn't hatched, though. It'll probably hatch soon. They all seem to be hatching at the same general time. They're breeding, slowly. I guess, obviously, their numbers will multiply exponentially as more of them are born. The whole fish are doing well, though. Let's see our cutesy little bone shark. Now, I could take this little guy and release him into the wild. Unfortunately, he would immediately become a full-sized bone shark and be aggressive like a regular one. However, if I did want to kind of make a fake ecosystem of, you know, all sorts of critters, I could dump a couple of them outside my base, you know, a little farther away. Alright, whole fish, you're going to be my snack for today. Look how tiny he is. Unfortunately, you can't eat rabbit rays, because they are highly poisonous.
Caution. Calorie deficiency detected.
So we're going to eat this guy, and I guess we're going to need to get some exterior crops going too. And as far as I know, that pretty much means creep vine is the only kind of useful thing I think we can grow. There might be a few other things that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. We're also going to want to get some crops for our, or not crops, but plants for our aquariums. So that means some of the less useful stuff. So how much can we fit in here? So we got 6 4-slot items. So we could plant 6 creep vine in each of these. Just quite a few, actually. Alright, let's go off and find some plants to plant. So So I'm not sure if we need creepvine samples or the actual seed clusters. So let's take a bit of each. You'd think it'd be the seed clusters, but not sure. Can I grow these things? I don't know if these are plants. I think they're organisms. Yeah, those are alive. I mean, you know, more alive. They don't grow from spores. You can see my nightmare air pipe that pumps air down into that cave for exploration purposes. Now, this looks like stuff I should put in the aquarium. A little blue palm. Can I grow acid mushrooms? I know I can pick them. Ow! They blow up in your face when you do that. Oh, yeah, it gives you some spores. Grab some of this stuff. I don't think I can grow table coral, though. Just keep an eye out for anything else that looks interesting to plant. I could grow some of these fan things. There are a couple specific plants I want to get, so let's start heading off to get those. How much space do I have? Not a whole lot, but I should have enough for one of each. So we're going to go over to the Koosh zone, which I don't think I showed off in the last video. So, this is the Koosh zone, named because of these Koosh bushes. It's also a zone completely infested with shockers. We did see that one in the Blood Kelp zone that gave me a good slap to death, but here these things are just everywhere. Just yesterday I was here and saw 6 of them in one spot. They are one of the creatures, however, we could discover eggs for. Somewhere in this zone. But I doubt we're going to see one. The eggs are a little hard to spot. What I actually came here for is the Koosh bushes themselves. I'm not sure we can grow one of these, but we can try.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Alright, that leaves us with just a little bit of space, so we're actually gonna be a little dangerous here. We're gonna go into Reaper territory and try to grab some magnetite on the way back. From the other island, the mountains biome, which Reapers tend to hang around the outside of. I've actually brushed up against it a couple times. I did grab a magnetite, which is why I have a compass. But I would like another one so that I could build a torpedo system for my submarine. As well as maybe build some thermal power for my base. The mushroom zone I've found is particularly bad for the pop-in. Alright. So if we want to get to the mountain zone, I believe we just have to follow the edge here. I think this might be it. Over here. There's pieces of the Cyclops. can kind of see the mountains from above water. You'd think they'd be easy to see because there's no land, but there's actually a moving cloud that obscures it most of the time. Alright, from the aurora, it should be in... yeah, there it is right there. So we want to get up close to that. I'm going to keep my defense system armed.
Caution. Blood nutrient levels decreasing. Calorie intake recommended.
At least it should be easy to see a Reaper here because they're very white. Is that one over there? Oh, that's the ground. I think... I'm seeing like the curve of the sand and I'm like, is that one moving? But... only one roar though, maybe we passed him. Oh, let's grab some magnetite. There's one. Come out wherever you are. Okay, I need one more of these to build a thermal reactor. No, I'm pretty certain other people don't have this much trouble finding a Reaper. That said, I also don't want to get jumped by one, so I think we're going to pass the night on this island. So we can try to find one during the day. Sun's coming up. And I've had a lovely night of listening to that. So I believe the Reaper is somewhere over here on the east side of the island. Or this Reaper. One neat thing is that this island here appears to be the roosting place for these bird sort of creatures. Oh, Jesus. I didn't realize there's a cave right in the middle of this place. Well, I hope there's a way out of here, because otherwise we're going to have to swim out. And that is obviously not something I want to do. I do believe we're going to want to not dawdle here too long.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I think you can get into that cave actually from the bottom, which might be where the Reaper's hanging out. Just forgot to arm my Seamoth. Okay, this is the edge of the biome. And it stopped. Let's just do a little lap around here. Starting to feel like one of those bloody megalodon searches.
Caution. Passing safe depth.
Haha! Found you, my dear. Now you might think that being a big, scary, dangerous thing, this thing will come after us as soon as it's anywhere nearby. But they don't actually know we're here immediately until you get closer. I think he knows we're here now. Hey, buddy. Just hanging out here? Going on a bit of a trip, did you? Looks a bit like an oarfish. I may have triggered that a little too early. But he'll piss off for a little while and come back. You don't want to try to outrun a Reaper, though, because they will follow you outside of their territory. You can see he dinged up our sub pretty good, though. 50% damage.
Emergency. Starvation imminent. Seek calorie intake immediately.
Are you following me? Alright, we found our Reaper. Now let's, go home. You go home too. Thankfully, I have the solar charger on my sub, so that's not draining too much battery. Ugh, he keeps going the way we need to go, though. Well, that was more exciting than I thought. I thought we were going to go another episode without seeing a Reaper Leviathan. And that's not even the largest thing they've planned to put in the game yet. There's a particularly nasty looking thing called the Sea Dragon Leviathan that's coming in the future that is much larger than the Reaper Leviathan. There's also a very large, well, supposedly the largest creature in the game, the Sea Emperor? Or Sea Leviathan Emperor? Which is apparently not going to be hostile, and might actually be a key part of the story. It's not really clear yet. Anyhow, let's head back to the farm. Alright, we're back. Let's see, I've planted a few things out there, which are starting to grow. Unfortunately, those spotlights I put out, or the floodlights I put out there, there's no way to connect them to your base's power grid, so they require you to replace the batteries regularly, which is a shame because I wanted to put them everywhere. Seems our plants are doing pretty well. Looks like that melon just regrew itself. So I could probably live entirely off of these hanging fruit trees. Just grow a couple more of those. See, this stuff is all just decorative. But I can get seeds from these if I were to, you know, slash these up and then grow more of them. So if I wanted more hanging fruit trees, I could just plant more of them from the hanging fruit themselves. Yep, gotta watch out for that hole. Now the peepers are doing well, but that egg still hasn't hatched. Bone shark's getting bigger. Kind of weird that the egg is still here. I could actually build this aquarium even higher too. You can just kind of keep stacking them on top of each other, which I believe increases the total capacity of the tank. These guys are doing pretty well. This egg hasn't hatched either. I wonder if it's just because it hasn't been enough time. I think it takes like 3 days for most of them to hatch. So that might be the problem. Anyhow, that's pretty much it for this update. Nothing too exciting. Mostly, you know, good old farm and stuff, but that's definitely stuff you needed in the game to make it viable to, you know, survive long term. Since, again, I could just take a bunch of peepers and dump them out here and keep doing that until I have a nice, good colony of peepers living around my base that I could also eat. And thus making this whole lifestyle sustainable. However, the next update for next month is sounding quite a bit more interesting in terms of, you know, action content. I believe that is the update where they're going to have wildlife actually attack your base, and presumably some base defenses to prevent that, which those mushrooms just turned into mushrooms, which I'm sure will be a good update video. But until then, I've been Shadefire, and this is a Subnautica's farming update. Till next time, y'all take care.